Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joe Sands. I'm the inventor and founder of Tension Toner, and I'm so excited to share these workouts with you. I'm so excited to get started, but before we get started, we're just gonna spend a little time up front, and I want you to watch till the end because it's very important that you understand how everything works and the structure and the layout of these workouts. And also, we're gonna spend a little time up front in the first workout of the 12-week program. So you'll see, that's about like maybe 40 minutes there. Watch it, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be well worth it. It's a very small investment for the course of however long you're gonna have Tension Toner, which hopefully is forever, okay? So, my goal right now is to help you transition into these workouts so it's as seamless and fluid as possible. Now know this, it's probably gonna be a little challenging at first. In fact, it's almost definitely gonna be a little challenging at first. I get, questions all the time or just general comments and emails from people that are having a tough time and they're getting a little discouraged. And that's the last thing I want. I really don't want anyone to be discouraged. Just know this, that wherever you're starting, that's perfect, okay? So do the best you can right now, and I guarantee you that over time, even though it doesn't seem like it, at that current moment or the current moment that you're in, you don't think it's gonna get better, you don't think you're gonna get stronger, I guarantee you will. I guarantee it, okay? These workouts are gonna get easier, but it's not gonna be easy. You're always gonna be challenged. So, and that's what we want, right? So, but what I'm saying is it's gonna get more fluid. It's not gonna be as awkward as it is probably in the beginning for you. And if it is awkward, just know that it's normal because you're engaging your neglected pulling muscles during these workouts. And like I said before, guys, we're not activating our pulling muscles as much as we should be during the workouts. Some people, they don't even exercise their pulling muscles, like your back, your shoulders, pretty much ever. That's horrible. They're doing a lot of, biceps and chest presses and, maybe tricep pull downs. We need to exercise our pulling muscles and our stabilizer muscles because if we don't, we have the tendency to overcompensate, and over time, that could be a really bad thing. We could get injured. That's why you hear so many shoulder injuries. So we're trying to prevent that and also get collectively stronger because I always say this, that, go back to that saying, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Well, the same holds true for your body. You're only as strong as your weakest muscle group. And for a lot of people, that's your pulling muscles, that's your rear shoulders, your back, your trapezius muscles, your rhomboids. These are all going to get activated with the Tension Toner workouts. So again, that's the importance of pulling the bar apart and keeping it tight during the entire workout. So let's get into into a little bit about the bar. So when you're doing the workout, you're keeping the center straps, we call the center straps like feedback straps. Sometimes it's a strength indicator we call, but we'll just call it a feedback strap for all intents and purposes here. And what you're doing during the workout is you're keeping those center straps as flat and tight during the workout. And you're gonna feel the difference, whether it's tight and when it's not tight, okay? And also if you're working out with a buddy, you're working out with a personal trainer, you can be accountable, right? Or you can hold someone else accountable and know if they're pulling hard enough because you can visually see if those center straps are flat and tight. Okay, so that's the important thing. So during the entire workout, you're pulling the bar apart and you're keeping it flat and tight. If there comes a point in the workout, let's say you're not finished with the set yet. So for instance, like for the workout program, we're doing 60 seconds. And that's appropriate for the amount of time under tension that your muscles need in order to grow and really maximize and benefit from those workouts. So that's why we have 60 seconds there. But if let's say at 60, out of the 60 seconds, let's say at maybe the halfway point, 30 seconds in, you're feeling so fatigued, right? Let's say we're doing like a overhead press. You're feeling so fatigued and you really don't know if you could pull the bar apart any longer or go any longer. What I want you to do is I want you to just keep the bar slack, okay? And then perform the rest of the workout doing it that way. And if again, if let's say you have 10 seconds left and you're like, you know what, let me dig deep and I think I can pull it apart, then do that if you can. So again, let's recap on that because this is an important point, is that you're pulling the bar apart as much as possible during the entire workout. Keep it flat and keep it tight, okay? If you're getting fatigued, your muscles are getting fatigued, and you can't pull the bar apart any longer, I still want you to do the exercise, but at that point, if you really can't pull the bar apart, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna have the bar just slack, just like that, okay? And so I often hear too, this is a point I wanna emphasize, is that people are like, well, you know, is there a way that you could connect the bars and keep it like a straight bar? We don't do that here, because with a straight bar, you're oftentimes working out one side more than the other. You're overcompensating on your more dominant side. Here, the weight is independent of each other because it's a split workout bar. Okay, so that's an important point. So even here, if the bar is not, you know, even if it's not taut, let's say you're finishing the workout, you can't pull it apart anymore, and the bar is slack, right? So you're not pulling it apart, and you're coming up, you're still working out a lot of your stabilizer muscles because it's not a flat, it's not a straight barbell. So your muscles are working to really stabilize that weight as you come up and over your head. So that's an important point, and I really want to emphasize that, okay? So let's talk, we talked about the center straps, keep it flat and tight. They're called the feedback straps, keep it flat and tight. Now let's talk about changing the resistance. So as you have noticed when you open up the bar, you can fold it, right? Whenever you're storing it, whenever you're folding it, you're putting it in a carry-on luggage, whatever, keep it on level 1 resistance. Level 1 resistance is the way the bar comes. And that means that there's no, that both sides of the bar are not pulled out. So when you're changing the resistance in the bar, you're gonna take the end of the bar and you're gonna pull it. And you're gonna pull it so that when you see that the ball that's on the wire, you want that ball that's on the wire to sit on the middle portion of the bar. It's super easy. It's so, I mean, literally, you change it in a split second. Look, I can do it a million times so quickly. And so just get the hang of it. There's that balls, you want that wire essentially to go through the larger hole. And once you see that ball that's on the wire, that's when you're gonna sit it down onto the center of the bar. I know I'm like overcomplicating it. It's super easy. Just do it a few times and you'll get the hang of it. It's very easy. So when I pull one part of the bar out, so one part is pulled out, this is now level 2 resistance. So again, I'm going back to level 1, no bars, no sides are pulled out. Now I'm pulling one side out, that's level 2 resistance. And then I'm gonna pull the other side out, and now you're at level 3 resistance, okay? Super easy, you can feel the difference, right? As you pull the bar apart and you're keeping it pulled apart, you're gonna feel that tension, okay? Again, you guys, whenever, like if I'm doing like a bicep curl, I wanna keep those center straps flat and tight during the entire portion, really focus. I always talk about this, like even in the workouts, like you want to make sure that you have that mind-body connection, that you're keeping those center straps flat and tight. I often see this, you know, so I'll be at a trade show and demoing it for someone, and someone's doing the workout for the first time and they think they're pulling the bar apart, but they're really not. Like because they're coming down and the bar is slack. I want you to pull the bar apart during the entire portion of the exercise. So on the way up, on the way down, all throughout until that buzzer rings, until that timer beeps, you are pulling that bar apart. And like I said, unless you can't and you really are fatigued, then you can do it the other way that I just showed you. So now let's bring it back to level 1 resistance in the bar, which is just like that. This is how you're gonna fold it. This is how you're gonna store it. And the reason is because you're not gonna have tension on that band like you would if it was on level 3 resistance. We want to preserve the life of your tension toner so that you can work out with this for years to come, forever hopefully, and that you can always get a great workout no matter where you are. Now let's get into a little bit about the handle attachment. So in your box, you probably see these 2 things. These are handle attachments, and what you're going to do is the handle attachments are where your resistance bands clip onto. your resistance band does not clip onto the bar itself. It doesn't clip onto the bar itself, it clips onto here, okay? Your handle attachment, again, it's gonna have a D-ring. This is, it actually is not in a fixed position, it will slide, and it's done like that on purpose, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. And then it has two clips at the ends here. You'll notice that the clips are very easy to adjust, they're very easy to squeeze. And so when you're setting it up, what I want you guys to do here is your logo, the Tension Toner logo, is gonna be facing up toward the bar. So it's gonna be at the top portion here, and your D-ring is gonna be at the bottom, okay? And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just gonna set the handle attachment up here, and this is exactly how you want the handle attachments clipped to the bar, okay? So my D-rings are facing down toward the ground, and this is ideal. Actually, let me show you how to clip on the resistance band. So now the resistance bands are simply gonna clip onto the D-ring at the bottom of the handle attachment. And so we do this for a reason. Like I said, the bands don't clip directly onto the bar because it would be very awkward and the weight is not centered. You always want that weight to be centered below your hands. You're gonna get that extra challenge because it's a split bar design. So you're always lifting the same weight on both sides because of that reason. But you want that fluidity, and this is gonna provide that fluidity because that weight is centered below your hand. If you're doing a narrow grip position on the bar, so a narrow grip exercise, let's say like a bicep curl, right, and you're coming up, this is exactly how you want your hand position, right? So if I'm doing a narrow grip position, your hands are gonna be gripping the inner portion of the bar. If you're doing a wide grip position, your hands are gonna grip the outer portion of the bar. But what we're gonna have to do when we have a wide grip position, so we're gripping the outer portions of the bar, is we're just gonna unclip here, the inner portion, and we're gonna clip the outer portion, just like that. So let me show you again. What I just did is I unclipped the inner portion and then clipped it to the outer portion. So now that weight is centered below my hand, right? And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So unclip and then just clip. And so now you're able to you're in prime position to do a wide grip exercise. Again, if you're doing, I don't know, let's say like a overhead shoulder press. I mean, you can even do a wide grip position, a bicep curl, whatever it is. We're gonna get into all the workouts that you can do as well throughout the workout program, the 12-week workout program that we have. Let's recap here. We went over the center straps. We also went over changing the resistance that you pull against, how you do that, pull out the ends of the bars, and how to store it. And then we also talked about the handle attachments, how you actually set it up. Let's talk about the reason that this is not in a fixed position. So the reason why the D-rings slide is because it doesn't, no matter where that weight is anchored, it's going to be a very fluid motion for you, because if it was fixed, it wouldn't adjust to where you are and where your hand positioning is. Whereas when it floats on the handle attachment, instead of being fixed, it's a much more fluid motion. And so that's the reason why we have that. So if you want to take your leg workouts to a whole new level, right? We do a lot of the body weight squats and lunges, but that's not enough for some people. And for me in particular, I highly recommend, because I use it myself, I highly recommend the 22-inch glute bands. So if you want to check that out, you can actually go to exercise 1 of week 5. Exercise 1 of week 5. We have a very short introduction at the beginning, just going over some of the benefits of the glute bands, what type of exercise you can do with it, and how to set it up. So if you want more information about that, go check that video out. Exercise 1 of week 5. So I just want to talk to you about the resistance bands. These are really high quality bands. They're excellent bands. They should last for years to come. Always give them a little check right before you exercise. Just make sure it's smooth, that there's no tears or anything like that in it. If there is, don't work out with it. Get another band, okay? You also want to make sure that you're not overextending the band. So you never want to overextend the band or extend it past 2.5 times its at-rest length. And to illustrate this point, I have index cards. So this is gonna really oversimplify it, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So this one represents the at-rest length of the resistance band. Now we're gonna, this is double the resistance band, the at-rest length of the resistance band. And then I folded this one in half, and this is now 2.5 times the at-rest length of the resistance band, right? So this is what that represents. So I do that to illustrate the point, make sure that we're all on the same page, because I want you to, when you're doing the workout, it's hard for you to, visualize that or think about it in that sense. And so with the resistance band, so what we're gonna do here is, let's say, so this is the at-rest length, right? I wanna, think in my mind when I'm working out, just to make sure I'm staying in that safe range. It shouldn't be past here. So, because I'm doing the same thing like I showed you with the index cards, and I'm just applying that to the resistance band that I'm working out with. But again, you don't want to walk away from the anchor point. This is where we see most of the problems happen, is if you're trying to get that tension both at the bottom and the top, and you're working out with a light band, it's easy for you to come past that, right? And then as you're pulling in and coming to the top of the movement, you're way past that 2.5 times the at-rest length. And so that's where we see the issues happen. So again, we want to make sure these bands last for a very, very long time, and that obviously you're safe working out as well. Last and certainly not least, let's discuss the door anchor. So make sure that you're at a door where you're at the non-hinge side. So I don't want you seeing any hinges. If you see a hinge, go on the other side of it, or find another room or another door to work out in. So if you don't see a hinge, then we're good, okay? So you're at the non-hinge side of the door, and what I want you to do is I want you to grab your door anchor, and you're literally just going to put that foam piece, this piece right here, the circle, you're gonna put that at the other end of the door, and you're just gonna close the door, just like that. And now you have your door anchor properly installed. You could put your door anchor literally at any portion of the door. So even if I wanna put it here, if I wanna put it up here, if I wanna put it at the ground, you can put it wherever. It doesn't matter. You could adjust it, and then all you have to do is just firmly close the door, and then you're good to go. Okay, but again, make sure you're at the non-hinge side of the door, because this is going to provide that strength that you need for all these type of workouts. If you're doing it at the other end of the door where you're seeing the hinge, it's not as strong as it should be for the workout. So your safety is our priority. Go to the non-hinge side of the door, please, and then perform the workout that way. So you'll notice that on the door anchor that we have the number 1 and we have the number 2. Those are just different type of setups that you can do with the resistance bands. So head on over to the first workout, the first video of week 1, and we'll go over that at length of what that actually means and what type of workouts that you can do by hooking it up with the number 1 and the number 2. It's very easy to do and very intuitive. So the last thing I want to say to you guys is reiterating a point that I made earlier, and that is, don't get discouraged. No matter what point you're at right now, you're doing great, okay? This may feel awkward at first, right? You may not like it. A lot of people don't like being challenged in a new way, and because it's, again, you're activating muscles that you normally don't hit. And it's normal to feel that way in the beginning. Trust me, it's normal. But the thing is, you're going to get stronger. I can guarantee that. I already said this before. You're going to get stronger, and it's going to get easier. So just know that you may in the beginning feel it in different areas. Some people say, "Oh man, my neck, like around my neck, it's so sore." Why? Well, it's your trapezius muscles. Your trapezius muscles extend by your neck area. So it's a diamond-shaped muscle that is, it's a back muscle, but it extends, by your neck area, so all the way up here, so just like this, and then coming down and into a diamond shape. And so you're working your way up, you're building your muscles. Those muscles oftentimes are never hit by standard strength training or standard exercises that we're doing, whether we're at home or at the gym. And so now that you're doing this and focusing on these muscles, your pulling muscles, right? Your stabilizers. Now you're getting those muscles activated and your body's like, wait a second, hold up, what are these muscles? You're not used to it. And so your body needs a little bit of time to adjust. But again, go at your own pace, go a little bit slower in the beginning, don't overdo it. And I promise you, you'll start to feel stronger and these workouts are gonna seem a lot easier to you over time. It's always going to be challenging. We always want it to be challenging because that's how your muscles grow and that's how you get the results that's how you get results, period, in whatever you do. You want to be challenged, but it will be easier, it will feel more fluid, and it's not going to feel as awkward as it possibly will feel in the beginning. So with that being said, guys, hit us up with any questions. Customer care at tensiontoner.com. So that's our email, customercare@tensiontoner.com. You can even go to our website. We have a contact button down at the bottom of the page. And like I said, we're here for you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, issues, whatever it is, email us. And we typically get back to you guys within 24 to 48 hours. Typically, it's a lot less than that, though. But thank you so much. And we're so excited to share these workouts with you. So let's get to it.